penetrated every aspect of our lives. From putting out forest fires, to making rescues, to herding livestock. Aircraft have become the workhorses of the modern world. Have become multi-billion-dollar centers of debt, and the pioneers who founded them, men who, above all, loved to fly, are long gone. All of this was perhaps inevitable. Air transport is a very costly proposition. A passenger jet or cargo plane can cost as much as 10 ocean liners did in the 1950s. Still, there are places left where flying is anything but routine, where the only flight plan is to get there as fast as you can, where saving time might just mean saving a life. Late May in Fairbanks, Alaska. On contract to the Alaska Fire Service, water bombers and smoke jumper planes spread out all over the state. This is the beginning of the fire season. Every year, millions of acres of forest all over the U.S. and Canada go up in smoke. Thousands of people and dozens of planes will be working through October to limit the damage. No one knows when and where the fires will start, so the impressive system is geared up as soon as the weather conditions seem threatening. Coordinate all operations from this room at Fort Wainwright. They direct food and equipment to firefighters on the ground, send out helicopters, smoke jumpers, and fire trucks, and order bomber drops of fire-retardant chemicals. Most importantly, they make sure the crews that have completed their task get home safe and sound. It's around noon, time for routine work as all active fires are under surveillance, and no new ones have been reported. Right now, they're keeping tabs on 88 fires, covering 100,000 acres. More than 800 firefighters are on duty, and some 20 aircraft and helicopters are on standby. Fire retardant is colored red so that the crews can see where they've dropped their load. The aircraft must be regularly washed down since the chemical residue can corrode the aluminum hull. An airdrop of food and equipment is ready for smoke jumpers on the ground. The load is large, since the firefighters may have to stay with the fire for days. A KC-97 or DC-7 bomber can hold about 3,000 gallons of fire retardant. A total of several million gallons of it are dropped each year.
Cumulus buildup may build over the upland areas, but will not cause lightning. That's what the weather is saying, but some of our fire prophets here are saying there will be lightning over the upland, so we'll see who's right. What I'm looking at here, I went back and checked the lightning maps. This is what we had 627. I think we can expect to see a few more holdovers out there in some of these ridges that occurred there.
There is nothing else to do now but wait.
Yeah, they totally made their war parlay.
To jump into an area of burning forest or tundra takes special courage. The crew's members are young, but they've all had a lot of firefighting experience. The physical demands of the job are enormous, and smoke jumpers must work out at least an hour a day to keep in shape. A jumper's life depends on his parachute. Each jumper must pass 20 stringent tests before being allowed to pack one. Smoke jumpers are considered to be the firefighting elite, but the helitack crews, which are flown in by helicopter, do the same dangerous and demanding work. When they are needed, they too can be airborne in minutes. Some trees, like the black spruce, actually need fire to reproduce. The tree will drop its cones after the flames have burnt themselves out. only when valuable resources or human life are threatened that Alaska's firefighters interfere with nature. After a quiet morning, everything starts happening at once. Smoke jumpers are scrambled to a new fire some 200 miles north of Fairbanks. Meanwhile, bombers are sent to dump fire retardant on a blaze that's getting out of control and is threatening the Alaskan oil pipeline. Fire Chief Melanie Ingram and her 6-person crew are ordered to fight Fire 485. Smoke jumpers carry most of their equipment with them. The firefighters often stay on the job for days, working very long hours, only returning to base after the fire is out for good. Another crew takes off in a 1944 PB-4Y privateer, a version of the Liberator bomber. Flew choppers in Vietnam. Now the war he fights is with fire. Chuck's a beloved figure here because he's an extremely good pilot who knows how to weigh the possible risks against the necessity of each mission. Nears the fire, the smell of smoke fills the cabin. The team becomes quiet as they go over the jump again and again. The jump master carefully picks an open space as the drop zone. Heavy equipment, food, and water will be dropped after the jumpers have landed. When or how they will return to base, no one knows yet. That day may be as long as 3 weeks away and involve a long trek through the wilderness. Smoke jumpers have landed next to the fire, and the plane starts dropping chainsaws, food and water, axes and fuel. The operation is run with military precision. Chuck Bogart couldn't find a place near the fire to safely land the Bell 212, so the Helipack crew is faced with a 2-hour walk through the dense forest to get to the fire. Prepares the Bambi bucket, a 400-gallon bag slung under the helicopter and filled with water from nearby rivers and lakes. Melanie Ingram orders in a few initial loads of retardant to control the fire initially as the crew begins its trek. to secure threatened areas, they are an integral part of NATO's Allied Mobile Force. The German 1st Airborne, next on World of Valor. Then, meet men and women who discover their heart of courage.